Hi, it's Mark from CASE-MCQ, the Center for Access to Services in English, Mauricie, Centre du Québec. You should go and check out the website, CASE-MCQ.com.
Hey Mark, what does CASE-MCQ do?
At the Center for Access to Services in English, we provide support and resources to facilitate and promote the well-being of the English-speaking population of the Mauricie, Centre du Québec region, mainly through meetings, workshops, and activities for all ages in the areas of health, education, and wellness programs aimed to build community. In the summer of 2020, I met a gentleman who said he wasn't originally from the Mauricie, Centre du Québec region. So I asked him if he could share his experience as being an English-speaking person coming to establish himself in the Mauricie, Centre du Québec region. Hello! I've met you for the first time this summer, Mr. Andrew Holman, and now the crowd goes wild. Hi, Andrew. I know you were not born in the region. You were not born around the Mauricie area. Where are you from originally?
I was not born too far from here. I was born in Augusta, Maine, which is a different country, but it's about 5.5, 6 hour drive from here.
Happy to have you here, but why are you here? What made Andrew Holman move from Augusta, Maine to here?
Well, that's everyone that has chosen to live here has some sort of story. So there's the long version and there's the short version. So short version is I moved here for family reasons, and I stay here to be close to my kids.
When you were in Augusta, Maine, is that where you grew up also?
Around the area. We call it Central Maine.
Okay.
But very rural.
But that's unilingual English. Being in the Mauricie area is very, very French speaking. How did you find it adapting to here?
Well, I grossly overestimated my ability to pick up a second language.
What was it? How long ago was this?
I moved here in around Christmas in 2009, just turning into 2010. So I've been here for 11 years.
Did you have a wall? Like, whoa, this is very French speaking. What do I do now?
Yeah, I use this story a lot, and it kind of sounds strange, but the moment that I realized that I had bitten off more than I could chew is the day that I wanted to order a pizza and realized that I had to ask somebody to do it for me.
Other than the word pizza, that can go fine, but for the ingredients and all, that would be a bit more difficult.
Well, it demonstrates the feeling of inadequacy that a newcomer might have here when something that we take for granted as being so simple is now a challenge. You lose your independence to that level.
Did you feel beat by the system, or did you roll up your sleeves and you said, I'm going to win this, I'm going to do something? And if so, what did you do?
Well, it's a process, and it's different for everybody, but it's a psychological process. So when I moved here, I was a business owner in Maine, a homeowner. I had my network of people and was very independent. So overnight, I lost all of that, and it was the biggest challenge I faced in my life so far. So coming out of that was working through that depression, empowering myself with language, which there are tools here for immigrants and newcomers, even from other provinces, to help overcome that. And slowly, it was a slow process of empowerment.
How do you feel now, 11 years later, towards being comfortable in your surroundings?
Well, it's something I never take for granted. The process of going through that difficulty and coming through the other side leaves me with the responsibility of helping those that are coming now. So when I have the opportunity to implicate myself in community groups, access committee with the CS Healthcare Network, like to be active in our grassroots Facebook group, which is amazing. There's 750 people the group has grown to. So a combination of these things that exist now that didn't exist when I moved here, it's equally humbling, rewarding, and I feel a great responsibility to be active in these things, to help them grow and do whatever I can to contribute to it, where these are things that would have meant the world to me when I had landed here.
When you first arrived, yeah. Well, you're greasing the wheel. You're making it a bit more fluid and easier for people to feel welcome here. So you were talking about the Access Committee for the CIUS. What does that committee do?
So the province has decided, and as Canadians, we have the right to, the human right to have healthcare provided to us. So a English speaker living in the province of Quebec faces a lot of difficulties in accessing that healthcare. So there's been a effort within the province to formulate concrete access plans throughout each regional CIUS. And part of that is forming a access committee of community members that advises the CIUS. What are the challenges that we face in healthcare? What are your experiences? What are the experiences that you hear from other people? How can we do better? How can we make the experience of an English speaker equivalent, the same level of quality as their francophone neighbor? Because we're equally Quebecois.
Absolutely, with constructive criticism. I mean, to get
Yes.
better. And I know these kinds of programs exist in the rest of Canada for French-speaking pockets left and right in the rest of Canada. So it's just natural that we have English programs to help everyone come back to speed, to the same speed. If you're English speaking or French speaking, to all be equal and all be together.
Yeah, and a lot of people are surprised to hear that the English speaking minority in Quebec has challenges. We're often viewed as the majority language, but on a regional municipal level, our daily experience doesn't reflect that at all.
Would you have any words of wisdom for someone that's just arriving in the greater Mauricie region?
Absolutely. It's so easy to lose your identity or a sense of self-worth when you find yourself immersed in a new culture, you don't know anybody, and you feel useless with your mastery of the local language. Specifically with healthcare, don't be afraid to be your own advocate. Don't be afraid to insist. It's your health, and it's worth it to ask, to make sure you leave understanding your situation. And by personal experience, I've left the hospital after being treated and walking out the door thinking to myself, I have no idea what just happened or what I'm supposed to do now.
Wow.
So don't do that to yourself. And that's specifically why organizations like CASE exist, is because when you are vulnerable like that, you don't necessarily have the instinct to be your own advocate. You don't realize that that's an option. So that's why CASE exists when you're not sure and you need help navigating the healthcare network. And Mark, this is what you do currently, right? So
Yes, that's why
that's great work. I could interview you.
public address. Please go and check out the internet site, CASE-MCQ.com. Lots of information in English and French, and referrals, places to you can visit, or if people want to write to us, we're always there to raise our hand to help other people. But that's another parenthesis. I was I was here to speak with Andrew.
Also, with the Access Committee, we've been able to work with the CIUS, and they've added an English button to their website. This is definitely a work in progress, and our access plan goes well beyond an English button. But if you do find yourself in being treated in a hospital or any provider at all, and you request either English documents or English services, and that's refused, in 2 clicks, we have a complaint form now in English. So if you go to the CASE-MCQ.ca and scroll to the bottom of the page, there's a button for complaints. And
which is also, as you said before, at somewhere we can call it constructive criticism. because it's by doing complaints
Yes.
that things can change and make it better.
And I can tell you personally that the complaints are reviewed, and policy is actually can be shifted or directed towards, is there a pattern of complaints? These complaints don't just sit in a box unread. These complaints are actually reviewed by CS administration. So if you're uncomfortable with the confrontation, possibly in the hospital or in the doctor's office, it doesn't make you a complainer to file a complaint, right? It's a very constructive, and it's there for a reason. And they've adapted that to us because they want to hear from us. And I can assure you that they get read.
Thank you, Andrew. Can you speak French now?
I can.
All right. So you're comfortable in your surroundings.
One of my first employments here was working at a parts desk serving local contractors. So it was really a trial by fire.
It was people that they don't have a lot of time, don't have a lot of patience, has to go quick, and I guess you had to learn really fast.
Yeah, and the local vernacular on top of it.
You go, oui, 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 oui. You know, Andrew, we're also working on a podcast because I still have tons of questions popping into mind. And I also know you have a couple of hobbies that are very, very interesting. I'm not talking about cooking and stuff. And I would like to talk about that a bit more. So it will be another rendezvous for a podcast to talk in length of the whole Andrew Holman.
Excellent.
Thank you for taking time out of your day, for coming to speak to me a little bit. And have a super duper day, and welcome everyone who's new in the area. We can roll our sleeves up just like Andrew and make it better. Have a super day.
Thanks, Mark. You too.